Today I have this Omen 17 to test for you guys. This is a high-end laptop, so if you're looking for a gaming portable experience, you want to see this video until the end, because I will explain everything as simple as possible for PC beginners to understand, going through important topics such as the benchmarks, showing you the gaming performance, then the software, potential upgrades that you can make, and whether or not it's actually a good deal for the price, which by the way is on a discount for Black Friday. So I highly recommend you staying until the end, and you will have the link to this laptop down below in the video description. That being said, let's start. First, let's talk about the specifications, and if you know nothing about PCs, don't worry about it because I will explain the performance later on. But for the CPU, we have the i7-13700HX alongside the RTX 4080 for the GPU. Then we get 16 gigs of DDR5 memory alongside a 1TB SSD, and let me tell you that the RTX 4080 combined with this i7 is a great combo for 1440p resolution. And lucky for us, the Omen 17 has a 1440p 240Hz display if you choose that option, which I will talk about in a second. Now let's talk about the software. On my most recent Omen 40L video, I said the software is one of my favorite things about Omen, and that's actually true. In my opinion, this is one of the best softwares on a gaming computer or gaming laptop that I've ever seen. You have plenty of options. First, you have the system vitals, where you can see all the vitals of your system and you can see the information of your components. Then you have the undervolting system, the network booster one in case you need a more efficient usage of your network. Then we have the lighting, where you can change the lighting on the keyboard. Then we have the performance control, and this is one of my favorite options because you can choose the power mode and change it to eco or performance. If you change it to performance, you might get better performance while gaming, but it's going to be louder. You have the balance mode, which is the standard option and the one that I use for testing. And then you have the eco mode, where it's going to use less power, but it's going to be more quiet in case you want your laptop to be completely quiet. And then you have the thermal control to choose from 3 different options. And in the bottom, you can see the system temperature from the GPU and CPU to see whether or not it's worth it for you. Then you have the graphics switcher to configure your GPU mode. And then you can also have macros if you want to increase your everyday productivity or have an edge while gaming. And then last but not least, you have the optimizer and the cleaner. In the optimizer, you can choose the booster mode, where it's like performance mode, so you get even more performance while gaming. And then you have the cleaner, which is going to remove the unnecessary files from your system. This is all nice and I really like the software, but the most important part when it comes to a gaming laptop or a gaming desktop is the performance that you get while gaming. Now you're going to see the benchmarks at 1440p resolution with a 240Hz display from this exact laptop. The first game is a really popular one in Fortnite. First, I've tested this game on performance mode, and as you can see on the screen, well over 300 FPS on average. So taking advantage of those 240Hz from this display, you will have no issues when it comes to Fortnite. You will achieve a really high FPS, and having this high refresh rate display is going to give you an advantage over 144Hz or even better over 60Hz display. Then I've tested this same exact game, Fortnite, at 1440p, but this time on ultra settings, and it was able to average over 120 FPS, which is still a really nice number for gaming, especially if you don't want to compete, you just want a nice gaming experience with better looking graphics. Over 120 FPS is still a great mark with this resolution and these settings. So for Fortnite, you will have no issues. Then in a more high demanding title, we have Hogwarts Legacy, ultra settings 1440p, and it was able to average over 90 FPS all the time, which is once again amazing performance for this laptop, considering this is a really high demanding title, AAA title, and we are playing on ultra settings. After that, I've tested the same game using DLSS on, which is the upscaler technology from Nvidia, and it was able to average well over 110 FPS, so amazing performance. But I'm going to do a full testing for another video, so if you want to see more games and more settings being tested, just wait for that one. And then with the last game, we have Red Dead Redemption 2, another high demanding title, and this game on ultra settings, it was able to average exactly 100 FPS and really a smooth gaming experience. I've tested this one with the in-game benchmarks, which is one of the most accurate ways of testing a game. So now let's talk about the pricing and the potential upgrades. Right now, it's on a Black Friday discount. You end up saving $500 and the total price is $2,100. One thing I have to mention is that this PC is not the exact same one from the one that I've tested. The one that's in the description has the i9 instead of the i7, so you're going to get even faster performance when it comes to high CPU demanding titles, multitasking, and content creation in general. Then you get 16 gigs of RAM and you get 500 gigs SSD. So what I strongly recommend you doing is clicking on customize and buy and changing the SSD to 1TB for you to have more storage. This is the primary upgrade I would make, especially if you are thinking of downloading a bunch of titles. And then the second upgrade I highly recommend you making is the $40 display upgrade, where you get a 240Hz monitor instead of a 165Hz one. If you're not going to play competitively, then you can stick to the 165Hz display, but the price difference is only $40 and 240Hz is a really good option if you play esports titles. If you make these two upgrades, the total price will be $2,220, really good price still for this type of system. And then you have two extra upgrades if you want to max out the gaming experience. The first one being the GPU upgrade, where you get the RTX 4090 laptop instead of the RTX 4080, where you get more VRAM and is capable of 1440p ultra max out experience, and you can also play at 4K if you buy an external 4K monitor. If you make all the upgrades mentioned here, you get 1TB of SSD, a 240Hz monitor, and then you upgrade the GPU to the RTX 4090. The total price will be $2,770, which is a really expensive system, but other laptops in the market with a 4090 are much more expensive. So if you want the best of the best for under $3,000, this is going to be the right option for you, especially since you're getting the best performance as you can on a laptop. And the last upgrade that you can make is the memory upgrade, going from 16 gigs of RAM to 32 gigs for $170 more. I only recommend you making this upgrade if you're going to do content creation or productivity work, or maybe if you want a better level of streaming. The total price with this upgrade and the 4090 is going to be around $3,000. And if you stick to the RTX 4080 and you make the other upgrades, so 32 gigs of RAM, a 240Hz display and 1TB of SSD, the total price will be almost $2,400. Once again, really expensive, but you have a huge discount where you save $500. So I think this laptop is a great deal when you compare it with other ones on the market. And I highly recommend you buying it if you want really good gaming performance. Overall, a great laptop for the price, and I do recommend it. Remember, you will have the link in the description, and there you can change everything. And in the description you will have a guide for the configuration, because maybe you got lost while I was talking. In that case, the description will be really helpful. Thank you guys for watching, thank you for the support, and I will see you on the next one.